Treo Sport reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try one of their sticks. When I said yes, they sent me over the Velux 90 stick. This stick has a 90% carbon composition with an extreme low bow profile. It has a 25mm bow with a maximum bow point located 205mm from the head of the stick. It features a drag flicking groove and a slight cupping in the face to make drag flicking a little bit easier. The stick that they sent me weighed in at a shocking 484 grams and had a balance point of 39cm from the head of the stick. Now this stick is obscenely light. This combined with the balance point makes the stick feel very light-headed and very light on the ball. Combined with the high level of stiffness, this had me bracing for the most unforgiving first touch, but much to my surprise the stick had a very nice first touch. Don't get me wrong, it's still a high carbon, high stiffness stick. If you don't have soft hands, the ball is going to bounce off. But what I found was that the light head actually ironed out some of the usual rough edges of a high stiffness stick, in that when the ball was really fired in at me, the stick would bounce back a little bit, leaving the ball stop dead. The light head was also fantastic for dribbling. This was especially true if you were executing any quick skills like a drag or an engine dribble in a tight space, moving the ball around quickly. The stick's high stiffness also gave it a very responsive feel on the ball, giving fantastic confidence when you were on the ball and moving it around. When it came to hitting, I found that the Velux stick had a ridiculous amount of power for its lightweight. The low head weight meant that you could quickly swing through the ball, especially when you were drop hitting in a really tight space. That high swing speed coupled with the stick's high stiffness gives you a great power transfer. This makes the stick great for shooting and it really stood out for firing off quick shots. Because of the shaping, it was very easy to get under the ball and cause it to lift. Combined with that light head meant that you could easily put a slight lift on a pass, making it more difficult for your teammates to control. The stick was okay for slap hitting but didn't have the same ping that upright hitting seemed to have. The groove shaft did make it really good for playing slider passes and adding deception onto your sweep passes. The Velux stick has a very thin reverse edge which gives it a great power transfer. The thinner edge means that you have fantastic control over shooting as long as you have good technique. But the thin edge is very unforgiving if you don't. It is very easy to get under the ball and fire it over the bar or even over the fence. If your technique is even a little bit off, you will struggle to hit the ball consistently on the ground. I found myself often shying away from risky passes on reverse that I would have taken on with other sticks. But when you do get your technique right, this stick is fantastic for reverse shooting, enabling you to fire the ball into the top corner. So flicking is what this stick is really designed to do. The extreme low bow profile with a groove shaft and a slight cupping of the face means it's very easy to get under the ball. Once you have the ball on the face of the stick, the slight cupping helps to keep the ball in place while you accelerate the light head of the stick towards the target, giving you fantastic accuracy. This is also true for 3D skills, with the cupped face again coming into play, holding the ball, giving you excellent control as you move the ball through the air and over an opposition stick. All of this is also true when playing a lifted pass. You can also make use of the grooved shaft to add a little bit of extra power for those longer passes, rolling the ball up into the shaft and back down, utilising that groove. All of the points that I just talked about are also true when it comes to playing overhead passes. It is very easy to get under the ball, and you can then use the extreme low bow profile combined with the groove to generate a lot of power rolling the ball up the stick. As you then whip through the ball, it rolls back down the stick, guided onto the head of the stick by the groove in the shaft. This gives you a great deal of control when it comes to releasing the ball. You can easily throw the ball very high, so it drops down sharply to a teammate, or you can throw a flatter overhead so that the ball carries when it lands bouncing into space. I found that when I was throwing a flatter overhead, the stick transferred a lot of spin onto the ball. This made it bounce off to the right, but also made it harder for my teammate to control when they did catch up to the ball. But when it comes down to it, drag flicking is really what this stick specialises in. The stick has a nice touch compound that combines really well with the cupped face to seamlessly pick the ball up. The cupping then guides the ball into the groove on the shaft, which makes it very easy to move the ball up to the maximum bow point of the stick. From there you can whip the ball back down. Again, the groove comes into play, guiding the ball back down onto the head of the stick. Once the ball is on the head of the stick, you can use that light head to really accelerate through the ball, adding a lot of power. The cupping also comes into play on the release, guiding the ball consistently off the same point on the head of the stick, which gives you fantastic accuracy. I also found that the stick adds a lot of spin, so you can get the ball to curve through the air, which is always fun as the drag flicker, probably not as fun for the goalkeeper. But what I really liked with this stick was that because the head of the stick was so light, you could accelerate at any point of the drag to disguise the release and give great deception, wrong footing the goalkeeper. So overall, I really enjoyed the Treo Sport Velux 90 stick. The light head made it fantastic for dribbling, and it gave me a lot of confidence taking the ball into tight spaces, knowing that I could quickly execute any skill that I needed to get out of it. On top of that, it was fantastic for shooting in those tight spaces, with the light head giving you an amazing swing speed so you could get the shots off really quickly and catch keepers off guard. It was a little bit down on power because of that lightweight, but I feel like it sort of balanced itself out with the amount of speed you could generate on the swing, especially on those shorthand hits. Now this profile is really targeted towards flicking, so it was great for 3D skills, flicked shots at goal and overheads, but especially drag flicking. This is a profile that has been refined specifically for drag flicking. The way that all of the elements work together to produce a fantastic drag flicking experience, the touch compound and the cup face picking the ball up, the groove in the shaft allowing you to add whip and motivate the ball up and down the stick with such ease, and then the way the ball is released from the head of the stick so consistently gives you fantastic accuracy. So if you are a player who uses a lot of close skills and is also a drag flicker, so maybe a forward who is trying to get shots away quickly in the D, but who also drag flicks at penalty corners, this is absolutely a stick that I would recommend checking out. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Treo Sport for sending me this review stick. If you've liked this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment with any reviews you'd like me to try and do in the future, and I'll do my best. If you can support further, I have a Patreon and a membership on my website. It starts from just £1 a month. It helps me cover the cost of reviews and also running giveaways. I also have merch on my website, which is bossfhockey.com. You can get hockey themed t-shirts and hockey accessories like grips. I also have a podcast which is Talk Hockey Radio, and within that I also have my brand pitch episodes. They are available on YouTube. It's me speaking to brands about what they value. I've got a great episode with Osaka and another great episode with Stickwise that you can find on my YouTube page. Once again, thank you very much for watching.